Hello, dear friends. There's nothing I love better than digging into my mother's recipe box, especially on Hanukkah and for holidays. Today I'm frying up some latkes, which is a recipe that I found in this box that I've been making since I was a little girl with her and with my mother. I love bringing out the cards and seeing my mother's writing, my grandmother's notes on here. I found a few other great recipes that I'm also going to make for this holiday season. But today I just want to share the basic recipe for um, Grandma Anna's potato latkes and a couple of her tips. The first one is I'm grating this potato right into some water because if I want to do the potato before my guests arrive, I can just grate the potato. And here's the other tip. You might notice that I did not peel this russet. You can use any potatoes you wish. You could use regular potatoes, sweet potatoes, zucchini. I could put some carrot in here. The one thing you don't want to grate into the water is any of the other vegetables. Just grate your potatoes right into the water. I'm going to make up a batter really quickly. I've already been frying some latkes, and I prefer to use an electric skillet only because I don't have to turn them as much. Of course, I can put them on the stove in a nonstick pan or in a cast iron as well. It's a really big potato. One large potato will make about 6 latkes. So if you have a large crowd, plan accordingly. I usually use 2 eggs per large potato. I use about a third of a cup of matzo meal, not flour. And there's one other secret ingredient that I'm going to show you in a moment. As soon as I get this potato grated, now this could stay, I don't want to grate my fingers into the potato. That's not a good idea. But once you get the potato done, it's in the water. Yeah, and I've already got my onion grated into this other bowl. So I'm just gonna, I could leave that until right before my party. What I want to do really though is just get the starch out of the potato. Ooh, I can hear my oil frying this latke. And I'm going to be honest with you right now. I'm going to turn it down. I made a batch of these that are vegan and I made them with just egg. They're going to be delicious. And I just wanted to show you this one. It's just almost ready to turn, but it's really, really brown on the bottom. As soon as it gets done, I'm going to turn it with a fork and a spatula. So back to our batter. I'm going to drain this potato now. I'm using a strainer. Just going to drain it. All the starch now has gone out. And I'm going to squeeze, squeeze. I remember my grandma squeezing the potato. And the reason I don't peel it is because the peel had nice color, but also it's very nutritious. So I'm just squeezing all the starchy water out. And then I'm going to add just the potato to my grated onion. I like to use a grated onion, and this can go away. Okay, I feel like I should have a Hanukkah backtrack playing. So the rest of the ingredients for the latkes, of course, I have a couple of eggs, or you can use just egg or any other kind of substitute egg for that matter. I like to add in the ingredients to the egg. I'm going to add quite a bit of salt. You know, if you don't use salt, then you can cut down. I'm going to use a teaspoon of salt and then a secret ingredient, quarter teaspoon of baking powder, which makes them real light and airy. And I'm going to just beat that up, add that to the potatoes, what we call the batter. And then afterwards, I'm going to add in my matzo meal. Now, look at this jar. This is my Aunt Becky's matzo meal jar. She died when she was 95 years old, and she gave me this jar and it has her writing on it. I love collecting things that remind me of my childhood, of my family, of the holidays. So I'm just going to add in the matzo meal, about that much. If I need a little bit more, And I'm going to use a fork to stir this. That's what she did. That's what I do. And then to drop the batter into the oil, you have to be real careful. Of course, don't ever leave your oil unattended. Almost burnt down a house that way once. Not a good idea. The holidays are a time of joy, of family, of traditions, and one of them is not getting the oil on fire. So that's the other reason I love to use an electric skillet. Now I need to use a special spoon, and I don't know what I did with it. So let me find my spoon. Has to be special. Oh, here it is. Has to be just the right size. And I'm sure this was my grandmother's spoon. So I'm just going to take a little bit of the batter. I'm going to very gently, oh, that oil is good. By the way, I use peanut oil because it fries hot. You can use any kind of oil that you want. And I like my latkes to be like, not exactly even, a little bit uneven. They don't have to be perfect. Yep, and don't crowd them. That's the other important thing. You don't want to crowd your latkes. You want to make sure there's plenty of room. And then when they're ready to turn, they're nice and brown. You can see this one's just really brown on one side. I'm just going to turn it over. Here's one that's pretty much done. Absolutely perfect. When the latkes are done, another secret, I just put them on a paper bag on a tray. I've got my oven set to a low 150. I'm just going to put these in the oven and they'll stay warm until my guests arrive. And that's a secret to a whole pan of really nice latkes. So these are frying away. It doesn't really take long. Don't ever walk away from the pan. I probably have enough batter here. That one large potato, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4. So 8 latkes out of that one potato. And of course, that's not going to be enough for my family because there's a big crowd of us. I always like to make a variety of latkes. So I might make sweet potato latkes with some cumin or another interesting spice. These latkes, I might add some parsnip to the latkes or zucchini, carrot, as I mentioned. But the secret that you don't want to forget is always grate your potato into water or grate it and then cover it with water. Get all of the starch out. And then you'll have the crispiest latkes and the secret ingredient, baking powder. And don't forget the matzah meal. Sorry, folks, if you like flour. No, not for me. At least not Grandma Anna's latkes. So these latkes are really like almost ready. You can tell it hasn't been that long. I like them to get really brown. This one is definitely done. It might be a little overdone, but some people like them really crispy. And remember, these were vegan. These are made with just egg. I bet you won't be able to tell the difference, really. So these latkes are going to be all nice and beautiful, ready for our Chanukah celebration. And tonight, for the 7th night of Chanukah, we're having a large party. So I'm going to save all these latkes for my guests. And of course, when everyone arrives, we will light the Chanukah candles, say the blessings, maybe have some gelt, play dreidel, maybe sing some songs. I'm going to serve my latkes with vegan sour cream. As you can see, they look yummy. And this amazing apple fig jam that I made at the end of the summer with all the figs that we have in the garden. And I'm going to make some fresh applesauce to go with the latkes, as well as maybe some cranberry sauce, because I found a wonderful recipe in the recipe box for cranberry dried cherry sauce. So I think I'll do that one as well. And of course, got to make some rugula for Chanukah. I'll definitely do that. So that's how I'm going to serve these latkes. Let me see if these are ready to turn. And then I'm going to, yes, they are. They look amazing. I just used a spatula and a fork because that's the way My grandmother always did it. Oh, these look fantastic. Now, these were made with regular egg. I think they look about the same. I'm gonna just let you see these. Aren't they great? Oh, they're gorgeous. So let's celebrate Hanukkah. If you have your menorah and you'd like to light it with me, recite the blessings. I'm gonna light the shamash first, of course. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Chanukah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asa nisim laboteinu bayamim ha'hem b'zman hazeh Maoz Tzur yeshuati lechana el shabeach תיכון בתפילתי, ושם תודה נזבח, ליאת אחי מטבח, מצרכם נבח, אז אגמור בשיר מזמור, חנוכת המזבח. אז אגמור בשיר מזמור, חנוכת המזבח. Hag Sameach, everyone. Happy Chanukah, and may all of your latkes be brown and delicious.